What is up, YouTube? And today we're looking at Liliam once again in Aurora Inferno. Now this is probably the hardest of the three thresholds, but she is actually pretty good here, mostly because she has lifesteal built into her S1, which will actually make it so that she can sustain herself quite a bit and actually help take off that curse shield that makes you do pretty much 0 damage. So basically, this is the team that we're running. You can see the average completion time is 430, so it's not the fastest team. But the reason why is because we're using this slow 100% win rate team with pretty much 3 sustainers. And honestly, the average is most likely around like 410-ish. It's just the first run took forever for some reason. And you can get the fastest clear down to about 330, which is going to be fine. So pretty much like a 4-minute team for the most part, but it's going to be 100% win rate. You can use Diting in Liliam's spot as well. However, I found that Diting sometimes dies, so it's not actually truly 100%. But with Liliam, you pretty much never die on the setup just because your team has a lot of sustain for you, one, and Liliam also has sustain for herself, while also being naturally very, very fast. So I'll show you guys the team now. Let's start off with my Liliam. You can see that she's going to be pretty much maxed out except for S2. Definitely not required. The only thing you really need on her is her S1 to be maxed, because you're going to do this anyways to use her in PvP. And honestly, you don't even need it maxed for PvE. You just need it at level 3 for Aurora, just for the extra healing. And the reason why she's so good is because, like I said, she has healing, she has an attack buff, and she's going to be able to deal damage even though the boss doesn't have a lot of debuffs on itself. So basically, the build, you want to run her on Keen Eye Fury Edge. I have her on Momentum Fury Swift Raid, so it's not ideal. But the reason why I have it on this setup is because my White Fang is on this, and you definitely want to run White Fang, or even Count is okay. But I think White Fang is better for more damage. And yeah, you don't really land a lot of debuffs on this team, but this is what we're at, so this is what I'm running her on. It's not going to be the most efficient. You're going to be lacking a bit of damage. If I switch her to Keen Eye and Fury Edge, I think I can actually speed up the run to like 320-ish, which would be pretty good. But for now, this is what we're running on, and it's going to be okay. I'm missing some crit here. That's mostly because unlucky gear rolls, but doesn't really matter too much because you're not really on a damage check. Obviously, going for 100% crit is going to be ideal. And you can see I'm on crit damage, attack. So that's my Liliam. Next up, we have Ling Luo. She's the main healer. You don't have to make her this fast. I just have her fast just because I wanted to cycle quickly and heal my team. But you can literally have her at like 260 speed and it's fine. The only thing you need to have her on is Swift Rush and either Cure or Evil Guard, preferably 2. And that way you're going to be able to heal a lot, and you want to run her on Supernova so she can heal enough to take off the debuffs from your team. And then next we will talk about, I think it's Viper, right? So Viper is, if I can find him, over here. Viper only needs his S3 max. He's here to dispel the immunity from the boss and apply these 2 debuffs, which will be very good at lessening the damage you take. And you want to run him on Swift Rush Time Weave so you can spam S3s as much as you can with 3 effect accuracy pieces. And then Artisan is going to be the shell of choice, so he can just shield your team over and over. You can run him on something like Gigabyte or even Jackal Guard to push more, but Artisan is just better because you're getting enough push from Nilou's speed buff. And that leads us to Nilou here. Nilou is going to be also on like a debuffing build. You want to max her S3 and S2 if you can eventually, although you don't really need it per se, but it will speed up the runs by a lot. And you run her on the same build as Viper. Both their speeds, you can run them at a lower speed, it doesn't really matter. But for Nilou, you want to make sure she's also on effect accuracy right side pieces. I have 1 HP piece mixed in because she gets enough effect accuracy from the other pieces' substats. And basically, you want to run her on Gigabyte because you want her to cut and boost your DPS up. You can run her on Artisan if you find your team dying, but Gigabyte will make your runs faster because she pushes quicker and she will be able to push your DPS after pushing herself, which is very good. And you don't really need Jackal Guard on her because she gets a speed buff and she applies it to your entire team. Next, we have the Mia here. So Mia is actually missing a piece. I believe what piece she's on is the one that my Valerian is on right now. But this is the setup that we have. Basically, you go Swift Rush Time Weave, and you're just going for speed, and that's pretty much it. I have some effect accuracy mixed in to help dispel. It's not needed. You can just put it on 3 HP percent and defense percent pieces, and it's fine. And for Shell, you pretty much just put her on Artisan or Gigabyte. I don't really have another Artisan or Gigabyte, so I just put her on Jackal Guard, which is not the best because you're not really utilizing the speed buff at all. I'm just getting a 25% turn meter push once every 3 turns, whereas if I had Gigabyte, I'd get it like every turn or every other turn, right? So not the best, and you don't really need any lattice investment to make her work. Now, if you don't have Mia, you can actually use Valerian. Valerian works as well. Valerian's very good because you can actually drop some crit rate, and your Hazy Dream, the fact that it applies a random basic buff, if you already have attack buff on your DPS, you will give them crit rate buff. So Valerian is also a very solid pick for Aurora in this team if you don't have Mia. She's going to make it so that you can drop some crit rate on your Liliam, and then also just give her more damage because she can give her the crit rate buff that you need. And maybe I should honestly slot her in for Mia so I can get that crit rate buff to buff her crit all the way. But yeah, this is the team. It's not going to be the fastest, but it is 100% win rate. And basically, the reason why it's 100% win rate with Liliam over Dieting is because 1, she cycles faster to get more Whale Prayers, so she heals more, and 2, she just heals more from her S1. Now, if you find yourself dying, the easiest fix to it is just to make your Ling low faster. That's like the most important thing. By doing so, it'll make it so that your team heals more as well, and it should be easier. But yeah, this is the team. I'm not actually going to commentate on it because you're literally just tanking and spanking the boss, but I'll just let you see the run if you want. Basically, the way it works is you're just healing off the curse shield and just hitting the boss, and because Liliam can't really die because she has lifesteal and she has high speed with Linglow's Whale Prayers, you're going to see that the team literally never loses. It just takes about like 4 minutes on average. So I'll show you the run, you guys can see it play for yourself.